Today we'll look at the best money making methods for early and mid-game players. Let's start this out with one of the most obvious money making methods for early and mid-game players, and that is literally farming. Now farming is gonna get a lot better. The Garden update is about to release, meaning that setting up farms goes super quick and you don't have to spend no longer hours on it. But right now the best farm to probably use is sugarcane because it's amazing for XP and amazing for money, but how much can you earn? And from 15 minutes of farming, well, we made 754,000, which is pretty insane. Considering that you could be making over 3 million coins an hour. Now, of course, to improve your results, I would highly recommend to get the best hoe. And of course, the higher farming level you have, well, the more crops you're gonna be getting. And the mathematical hoe blueprint is actually pretty cheap. And you will be gaining about 450,000 farming XP per hour. Of course, as you're progressing, you're also going to be unlocking collections, which leads us to the next money making method. While we're talking about farming, well, one of the collections that you could be unlocking is polished pumpkins, and the recipe is very simple. You need 160 enchanted pumpkins, and if you go ahead and go into the bazaar and purchase it right here, 160 would cost us 192,000 to make one enchanted polished pumpkin, and we would sell it back for about 50,000 profit. How crazy is that? Of course, there are endless of items that you can literally craft for profit. I would recommend crafting for bazaar because they go pretty quickly usually, but of course you can do it for the auction house as well. Now, crafting for profit is one way. Another way is bazaar flipping. Now, for instance, I made an order for a bunch of summoning eyes like 71 days ago. We're gonna go ahead and claim it for 8.6 million, and we're gonna sell it back for 9.7 million. That's 1.1 million profit with very small amount of money. I made a bunch of other orders as well. We might as well claim some of it. Here is 3.6 million, and we're gonna sell it back for 5.2 million. Then we have these right here where we spent 61 million almost, and we're gonna sell them back for 70. Dude, that's 15 million profit. So sometimes it's good to hold on to it for a long time. We also have enchanted pumpkin. Is this going to be also profit? 1.4 million spent, and we're going to sell it back for, okay, 50k. Then we have a booster cookie where we spent 3.8 million, and we're going to sell it back for 500,000 profit. And let's see, cocoa beans. Let's see if that's profit. 337,000 spent. We're going to sell it back for 20k profit. Then we have a lot of enchanted melon blocks, which is actually an L. We're not even gonna touch that. And yeah, but I'm doing daily bazaar flips on my channel for the shorts, so you can check them out where I'm doing literally daily flips, so you can kind of mimic them. Now, if you're in the early game stages, you gotta place down a redstone minion. It's not necessarily gonna generate a lot of money, but what it's gonna do is the collection. And well, this will mean that you're gonna have bigger accessories back, which is super important, but I want to show you how much it will actually make. Now, of course, you might not be able to afford a tier 11, so in that case, try to go with tier 6 or tier 7 and keep upgrading it until you get it to, for instance, tier 11. Now, we're gonna put it to the test, and we're gonna leave it AFK so we can actually find out how good is this minion actually. For this minion, we're gonna be using enchanted lava bucket. Obviously, plasma bucket would be a lot better, but if you're in the early game stages, it would be very expensive to afford. Of course, super compactor is crucial. And then diamond spreading, well, that's a very cheap upgrade, and alongside that, put a storage chest next to it. And now 24 hours has gone by. We're gonna go ahead and see how much money we're actually gonna be making. Here we go, bazaar, quick sell. That would be only 24,000, which is definitely not that good, but I think this is a good time to talk about the minions in the back. Once you reach mid-game stages, I think the minions that I would recommend the most has to be slime minions. Now, these guys have been AFK'd for 1 whole month, and as you can see, it made 5.4 million, which means if I had 29 minions, all slime minions with the corrupt soil enchanted hopper, we would be making 156 million each month. There are a bunch of other ways to make money while being AFK, but if you have a higher fame rank, then booster cookies are definitely the ones. Now, obviously you can just buy them with Skyblock gems, and if you do decide to buy some, you can actually use code PowerOwner with zeros at the Hypixel store checkout, and you'll get a discount. But anyways, yeah, booster cookies are amazing, or of course you can buy them on Bazaar. I always consume my booster cookies, and as you can see, I have almost duration for 3 years, and these guys are making me good profit. And while we're still in the hub, well, one of the ways to actually make quite a bit of money in the mid-game stages is again auction house flipping, and by that time you should have actually a lot more recipes. And one of the best places where to actually get good flips is slayers, and these are typically good profits here. And next up, we gotta talk about the end, because there's countless of ways. So as we mentioned, you can also mine the shiny blocks, which is really good for early game. But once you reach the mid game stages, you do want to enter down here and then go down the stairs and then head over here. Before you go to the Seal Bruiser hideout, you want to come over here and then try to see if you can actually go ahead and get the Sea-Lock 5, which is right here. And if you cannot manage to afford that, well, perfect, because it will actually increase the chances of getting the special Sea-Lots. But another thing you can do is purchasing an Enderman pet. These are pretty expensive, but if you can afford it, definitely worth it. And then grinding down here. Usually there's not that many players, and if there is, just switch lobbies and then come back here. But you can get the summoning guys super quick down here, and I actually don't know how it's this OP. Now, obviously, summoning guys prices have gone down by quite a bit, but they're still about 400,000, which is good. But yeah, I highly recommend grinding out down here.